What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video we're taking a look at a brand new plugin from Black Rooster Audio called the Omnitech 436C. And if this looks familiar, that's because this is based off the Alltech 436C, which was a very well-known very mute compressor from the 50s. It was probably to the very mute compressor what the LA2A is to the Opto and what the 1176 is to the FET. This is one of the more popular very mute compressors that we have seen in the pro audio world. So I'm going to go over the controls, and of course I will let you hear what this sounds like. So starting on the left side, we have limit and compress, similar to a LA2A. One thing to note here, you can't click on limit or click on compress. You have to click and drag this knob up as if you were actually moving this knob up or down. Don't know how I feel about that yet. It's kind of annoying right now until I get used to it. I'm just used to clicking on the parameter to move it. So yeah, you got to click and hold and then move it up or down. Next to that, we have stereo and dual mono. And then we have input and threshold controls. And then we have a sidechain high end and we have a sidechain low end as well. So we can really set up the sidechain filter on this compressor with two separate bands here. And we've got attack and release. We got makeup gain and a mix knob. And then we have sidechain listen, which just like these knobs, you got to click and pull it up or down. But when this is on, it's going to allow you to hear what this sidechain is hearing. So you can tune that to how you need it. And then we have, we can monitor the input, output, or gain reduction with the VU meter. All right, so we're going to check this out on a couple different sources, which are sources I like to use very mute compressors on. What I like about very mute compressors is they give me something similar to Opto, but they can be faster than an Opto, and that is one thing that I find with this one as well. So we're going to start off with some singing vocals from Yana Janae. I'm going to start with it bypassed, and then we'll bring it in and hear what the Omnitech 436C is doing to this vocal.
Can't you hear me? I'm not coming home.
All right, so I'm going to look to level this out. That first vocal swell there is definitely something that needs some compression to just rein it in and make it sound more leveled. Let's bring in the Omnitech 436C. Got a little bit faster release going here as well as attack. And yep, here's what we got here.
Can't you hear me? I'm not coming home.
All right, much more leveled. We're getting about 7 dB of compression here. And let's just listen back to that first vocal swell so you can really hear the difference of what the Omnitech 436C is doing there. Let's bypass it.
Can't you?
And with it.
Can't you hear me?
All right, let's move over to some rap vocals. All right, so I got the Omnitech 436C on some rap vocals. This is an artist named Virgos. And with this, I've got the attack at 12 o'clock and the release I've got set to the fastest point. And so the manual doesn't say how fast the attack and release or the range from the slow to fast is. But the release on this is pretty fast, and it's fast enough that it can handle rap vocals to me, because rap vocals, of course, move quickly, and I want a compressor that's going to release pretty quickly so it can start to work on that next phrase again. And this compressor does that for me. Let's start with it bypass, and then I'll bring it in.
It's major with no major label, no cosign. I've been knowing the whole time, my catalog a gold mine. Can't nobody control mine, a master of my own fate. Man, I've been the goat, y'all catching on late.
Okay, so pretty even with that. That very last phrase right here, we can clearly hear a punch in here that is louder. And I could just grab the clip gain and bring that down a couple dB, but let's try to fix that with the Omnitech 436C.
This major with no major label, no cosign. I've been knowing the whole time, my catalog a gold mine. Can't nobody control mine, a master of my own fate. Man, I've been the goat, y'all catching on late.
All right, pretty good. I'm going to bring the threshold down just a little bit more, and we'll run that back. Definitely, this is making it sound more in your face. I may have the makeup. Let's bring the makeup gain down just a little bit as well, just to make sure we're not fooling ourselves. All right, let's run this again.
That's major with no major label, no cosign. I've been knowing the whole time my catalog a gold mine. Can't nobody control mine, a master of my own fate. Man, I've been the goat, y'all catching on late.
Yeah, that was a lot better. So we're not hearing that punch in anymore. And just to remind you, let's run it back to about the close to the end. You can hear that this last phrase get louder where we punched in.
Can't nobody control mine, a master of my own fate. Man, I've been the goat, y'all catching on late.
It's probably about a dB or two higher, and this is with the Omnitech 436C.
Can't nobody control mine, a master of my own fate. Man, I've been the goat, y'all catching on late.
All right, so there it is on some rap vocals. Very mute compressors I like to use on rap vocals when I have one that has a fast enough release. That's the key for me with rap vocals and using an Omni compressor or using a very mute compressor. If not, then I generally will go for a FET because it's very fast and aggressive. But a very mute compressor for me gives me that balance between the fastness of a FET, and it's not as fast as a FET, but it gives me that as well as that smooth tube sound from opto compressors. All right, one more example. Let's check it out on some bass. Okay, I got the Omnitech 436C on this bass guitar, and I'm going to play it with it bypassed. For this, I've got the release as fast as it can go and attack at 12 o'clock. All right, so pretty dynamic performance there. We're definitely getting some parts that are a lot quieter than the other ones. And of course, we'll try to fix this with compression. Let's bring in the Omnitech 436C. All right, better, but it's still not where I want. I'm going to drive the input a little bit more, which is going to give us some more gain reduction. All right, so getting up to 10 dB of compression there. I'm going to bring up the makeup gain just a little bit, and we're getting close to getting this really leveled out. All right, so now we're getting a little bit too much saturation for me, so I'm going to back off the input. We're just going to bring down the threshold a little more. All right, so getting better, but you can hear those parts where it was really quiet. Here, I'll play just that. You can hear that it is bringing it up. So this is without. And with. Yeah, we can hear those notes there a lot clearer. All right, so there's the Omnitech 436C on bass. So those examples I gave you, bass, rap vocals, singing vocals, are all sources I typically use very mute compressors on. And just final thoughts here. I really like this one, and I'm not too familiar with that Alltech 436C. I know it's a very popular, very mute compressor, but when it comes to very mute compressors, I typically use the Waves RS124 or 1234, that Abbey Roads one, and the Plug-in Alliance Neo Old has a very mute compressor that I like as well. I can't think of the model. I think the V63U or something like that is another one that I really like. And we can add this one to it. This is another very mute compressor that I'm definitely going to start bringing in on some mixes and seeing where I can plug it in at and getting some nice compression out of it. I like with this input, we can clearly drive it to get some more saturation, as you can hear when I hit it up on that bass guitar. Unlike those other Verimute compressors I use, well, I think the Waves one does, but we have dual mono and stereo here, which is a nice feature as well if we're going to use this on stereo sources. The intro price for this one is, as a typical intro price for a Black Rooster plugins, is at $29. And of course, I'll have a link in the description if y'all want to check this out, learn more about it, or pick it up. But definitely comment and let me know what y'all think of this one. It's not too many Verimute compressors hanging around out there. I definitely feel like it's the least popular of the 4 popular compressor types, and it's just likely because Verimute compressors are very expensive if you get into hardware ones. But I mean, speaking of hardware ones, I do want to add a hardware Verimute compressor to my setup, and looking at a few different ones for those, but not ready to pull a trigger on that right now. But until then, I will keep using these Verimute plugin emulations like the Omnitech 436C. Really impressed with this one from Black Rooster. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, and if y'all want to continue to see content from me, then y'all know what to do.